Support comes from Dean Heating and Cooling, keeping homes cool all summer with Tempstar. Dean Heating and Cooling provides HVAC service and installation in the Athens area, featuring Tempstar quality you can feel. Support comes from the O'Neill Hartman Insurance Agency, a local Erie insurance agent serving southeastern Ohio, providing professional service to individuals and businesses. Information at o'neillhartman.com. Additional support from Donato's Pizza, featuring pizza, subs, salads, and catering from their Athens location at 688 East State Street. Information at donatospizza.com or 740-592-5049. Support comes from Ohio's 529 College Advantage, helping families save tax-free for college and career training nationwide for 35 years. Information on Ohio's 529 can be found at collegeadvantage.com/Bobcats.
Hello, everybody. Happy Halloween, and welcome back to another episode of Gridiron Glory. I'm your host, Donovan Varney, and tonight we're going to bring you the playoff results from all of our teams across the 7-4-0, and at the end, we'll reveal our top 12 candidates for Gridiron Glory Player of the Year. First, here's a look at tonight's games. To start, we've got Sheridan at Granville. Then there's 3 games out of Region 19, Amanda Clear Creek at Portsmouth, Morgan at Colgrove, and Zane Trace at Valley. And finally, our game of the week out of Region 15, Philo at Circleville. We'll start in Region 11. The Sheridan Generals are back in the playoffs after missing last season, and they're coming off a double-digit win against the top seed in Region 15. They take on Granville tonight, and Stephen Crowley joins us with how they did. Stephen?
Yeah, Donovan, Sheridan shocked a lot of people after a huge Week 10 upset win versus New Lex. And head coach Paul Culver told me that the key to winning this upset was having fun and playing hard. Now, playing hard and fun is a theme we've seen develop across the season for the Red Rage. Now, you start off a little bumpy here, but 2 good teams there in Licking Valley and Watkins, but then 6 straight, double OT loss to your rival, and most importantly, you follow that heartbreaking loss with a huge upset win. Momentum and confidence here, both things needed for a postseason run. And if you like touchdowns, who doesn't? This game is for you. And Granville's Kyle Kirby will get this thing started as he bulldozes in for the early lead. Right back the other way, it's Logan Russell for Sheridan, all square at 7. A big 4th down here, and it's McMillan rifling to Jacob Culver. Keep an eye on that connection as we go forward. You're going to want to remember it. Tice Whiteman now evades the rusher and wants to show off his silky touch as he hits Logan Russell to tie things up with his second tutty, 14 all. Less than 20 seconds, and Tice Whiteman on the money to his main man, Logan Hupp. What a perfect ball, and Hupp takes this one 66 yards to go up a score, and he'll shake hands as the Red Rage goes into half. Starting the half the same way we ended, with Hupp. This one easier, and it's a 14-point lead now. Now, did you forget about the McMillan and Culver connection? Here it is the second time to cut the lead to 1 score. And now it's time for the trifecta. Generals can't contain Culver in the red zone, a blocked extra point, 28-27 Sheridan, and a successful drive leads to this. The game on the line, 9 seconds left. It may be cold out, but not as cold as Bodie Shopes. The 27-yarder just absolutely killed in between the uprights. 30-28 lead for Granville, and the ASIP may have just won the game. Last play for Sheridan in the lateral, just not going to work out as Granville wins an all-timer at home, 30-28. Let's hear from Sheridan head coach Paul Culver III after the heartbreaker.
I'm so proud of them that they've earned their right in the annals of Sheridan football. I mean, that win last week was huge. Anybody that's seen us play knows the level of football team that we are. Even though we're doing a first-round exit, they know the type of team that we are, and the seniors earned that, and I'm proud of them.
Yeah, what an amazing game, Donovan, but just a crushing fate for the Generals.
Yeah, you said it, and with so many scores, something must have been clicking for these offenses tonight. What was really making the difference there?
Honestly, it was just a chess match between both of these coaches, with both offenses and defenses playing well. In the end, the Granville defense, they stepped up late when they needed to. And that last drive leading to the game winner was just almost perfect. Sheridan really played well in this game, just couldn't hold on to the lead, Donovan.
Yeah, and I know this is a bit of a look ahead, but what can we expect to see from the Generals in 2026 moving forward?
Yeah, Donovan, the Red Rage will lose key players such as Logan Hupp, Luke Skinner, Creed Hill, Wesley Shagog, just to name a few. But what's promising is you get Tice Whiteman back, who has now 2 years of experience under his belt under center, and as well as star running back Logan Russell. Key losses, but Sheridan is a program built for success, year in and year out, especially with Paul Culver III leading the lines. Now, Granville will move on after the dub to face one-seeded Bishop Watterson, who hasn't lost a game since the 2023 state final.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have their hands full with that one next week. Thanks for the good work, Steven. Now, this next team didn't play tonight, but that's because they won 9 games and earned the first seed in Region 15. Joining me now with a look at how they got to this point this season is Andrew Bowlby.
Well, Donovan, this New Lex team graduated 3 key seniors last season. You see the numbers that Isaiah Stevens, Bentley Hansen, and Carson Kellogg put up. They pop off the page, but this season, the team is reloaded and are looking to get on top of Region 15.
New Lexington had one of the best seasons in program history a year ago. The Panthers won their second MVL small title in 3 years and made a run to the regional semifinal. But this season, New Lex has their sights set even higher. The Panthers' bid at a perfect season was ended in Week 10 at home by their county rival Sheridan. That loss reminded the team that they are not untouchable and forced them to focus on themselves during the first round bye.
I think that's just putting a chip on our shoulder. I think it's something we really needed. We're just going with the flow, and we needed something to have momentum and give us something to work for.
You know, there's inches that are going to determine who's going to win or lose the game. We have to be great in those things. So that's really the biggest thing. They've put a chip kind of back on their shoulder, kind of reignited that fire a little bit.
New Lex is nearing back-to-back 10-win seasons for the first time in program history. While the offense gets a lot of the credit, the defense is having their best season since 2008.
Defensive line has really stepped up, which allows me and our other inside linebacker, Tanner Toth, to really step into our rules and make plays. Defensively, we're a lot more physical this year. We play a lot more aggressive.
The Panthers bowed out against Indian Valley last season in Week 13 and could be heading for a rematch. If that happens, New Lex is excited for the opportunity.
I love those big games. Anytime we get to see a team like that, especially a player like Grady Kinsey, it gets us better, and I like to take advantage of it.
We're really looking forward to that game because, we want to go back and win that. That's something we regret last year's not playing it great in the regional semis, but, this year we're going to take it one game at a time and not focus so far ahead.
Well, you just heard them talk about it. The defense has been the calling card for this team this season. 11.3 points per game this season. That's the best scoring defense since 2008, and it's a big improvement. It's what's really led this team. And when I was at practice this week, Harrison Ratliff told me a lot of interesting things. He said that this team has been more aggressive this season on defense. He pointed out the defensive line has made a lot of great plays, which has opened things up for the linebackers in the secondary. And he also gave me an interesting stat. Panthers have not allowed a drive longer than 60 yards this season, and that bodes well for Region 15. New Lex, a #1 seed in the playoffs for the first time in nearly 50 years. They're going to take on the winner of the 8-9 matchup, Fairfield Union, but this is a stacked region. It has the defending champion in it. It is going to be a very competitive fight for this region. And Kevin Borg told me this week that his team is excited for whatever is thrown at them and looking like it's going to be a rematch from Week 1 played in the playoffs.
Yeah, it just might be, and I'll fill you in on that one in just a second. Thanks, Bowlby. Well, you know those candy bowls that say take one? Well, we took a handful. We've got 5 more treats coming up right now on the Extra Point. We'll start right now in Cincinnati down south, and the Cavaliers faced Archbishop McNicholas tonight, and there's Carte Ligon before the match, but on the first play of the game, the Rockets land a big one. Zayden Harvey intercepts the ball and takes off. He heads for the sideline all the way down and into the end zone for the first score, 7-0 McNick. Next, Ligon is going to grab his 26th touchdown, but it won't be enough to top the Rockets. Chillicothe loses by 21. Now here come the Bulldogs out of the locker room. Next stop for them, the end zone. From just 3 yards out, who are you going to call? Kyson Klein. Get out of his way because he's going to get the Dogs on the board first. Lyndon McKinley's Emmanuel Towns shocks everyone with a beautiful catch here to keep the score close. The Bulldogs take a close one, 21-14, and we'll head to Licking Valley next. The 12-seeded Tomcats face the 5th-seeded Rebels, and they're friendly during the coin toss, but not right here. Luke Osborne is going to take the handoff and find the lane and give the Tomcats the lead in the second quarter. The Rebels punch back to take a 2-point lead before the half, but it's a nightmare in South Gallia as the Tomcats upset the Rebels and will travel to face Sims Valley next Friday. Now we've got an 8 versus 9 seed matchup between Washington and New Richmond. The home team Blue Lions are looking to tie the score. Andrew Young takes the handoff and beats the defender outside, splits the next two and falls in for 6. Then Sam Pfeiffer connects with Noah Haythcock to take the lead. They run away with a big 21-point win and will face the 1 seed in Region 16, Indian Hill. And our last game is out of Region 15. The Fairfield Union student section is dressed for the occasion, and so is Dean Clark. He's looking real scary as he lowers his shoulder and muscles through for the first score. Heath looking to respond, but Colton Bora jumps the pass and walks in for an easy pick 6. The Falcons get their first ever home playoff win, 22-3. And like Bolby said, they'll be facing New Legs next week. All right, heading into Region 19, we know a lot has been going on here. For one, Amanda Clear Creek is playing Portsmouth again in round 1 this year, but that's only happening because of Ironton. Here's what we know right now. According to the OHSAA, violations to their recruiting bylaws have led to these penalties: disqualification from the 2025 playoffs, postseason suspensions for some members of the coaching staff next year, 3-year probation, and a $7,500 fine. They'll keep their 2024 state title. They also had to forfeit their Week 10 win against Portsmouth for playing an ineligible player. And here to break down how this boosted the Trojans into the playoffs is Lucy Schaefer.
Yeah, and before Ironton had to forfeit, the Fighting Tigers won 55-13, a win that would have kept the Trojans out of the playoffs even with Ironton's removal from the postseason. But since ineligible transfer Kylan Grace played, Ironton had to give up the win, boosting the Trojans' playoff points and sending them high in the bracket. And here's a look at what the projections looked like before Week 10 play and before Ironton was barred from the playoffs. Although Portsmouth was number 10, a loss to the Fighting Tigers would have dropped them from the bracket. And if we take a look at this week's slate, Portsmouth is now the 5 seed. Since their game against Ironton counted as a win, playoff points are measured based on strength of opponent, and a recorded win against the reigning D5 state champs raised the Trojans 7 spots. And that played out for a round 1 matchup with Amanda Clear Creek. The Trojans looking to put on a show at home, but the Aces start the action. They cap their second drive with a Tommy Stye run, and the Aces go ahead 7. Now, Portsmouth had been struggling to get things going at this point. Marquez Locklear hands off to Trevin Brooks, and he loses the ball. That's recovered by quarterback Carter Madison. The next play, the Trojans, they'll return the favor. This one's called as a turnover recovered by Fernando Poches, and later on, he will finish that drive himself with a 10-yard touchdown run that you can see right here. Portsmouth showing some signs of life here in the first quarter, and it's 7-6 after a missed extra point. Clear Creek tries to respond here on this next drive, but Madison's ball finds a Trojan instead. Dontavian Parker with the pick. Portsmouth on fire now. Locklear gives it to Cameron Williams, and if you're watching, there are very few who would keep going in this situation, but all those aces are no match for him. Portsmouth goes up 13-7 and wins 32-13. Now, Portsmouth also keeps their record clean against the Aces. They're now 4-0 in the series.
Yeah, so the Trojans stay alive, but it looked like the Aces were the ones with the momentum to start.
Yeah, and if I had to guess, I would have thought Amanda would have pulled away in the first quarter, but that's until Portsmouth's defense started locking down guys like Tommy Stye and Carter Madison. There were also some adjustments on offense. Locklear threw the ball a lot more. He had big touchdown passes in the fourth quarter. And Cameron Williams, Trevin Brooks, players that were used more. Portsmouth's offense can be a little predictable when they're just using boxes up the middle. 5 touchdowns, 4 different guys tonight. Now, Portsmouth's win is just an extension of their firepower in the second half of the season.
Yeah, the Trojans were only putting up 9 points per game in their first 5 games. Now, excluding the Ironton game, of course, they've upped that number to over 40.
Yeah, season opener loss to Unioto and 2 defeats to start OVC play turned into a now 5-game win streak, and a convincing one at that. The Trojans will look to extend that win streak to 6 next week against 4-seeded Barnesville.
Excited to see how the 4 and 5 seed do against each other next week. Thanks, Lucy. Well, do you guys think you have the best fan base in Southeast Ohio? Well, here's your chance to let us know. Each week, we'll post duels between fan bases across our coverage area, and you guys at home will vote on which ones you think are the best. Voting is on Instagram and Facebook, and it will last all the way until our finale, where we will unveil which fan base rules the 7-4-0. Well, as for Cole Grove, they're riding high as the OVC champions. In the case of the Raiders, though, they were just able to sneak into the playoffs this year after a big upset win against Philo in Week 10. They're in search of their first playoff win in school history, and Sam Nolan joins the show with just how they did.
Donovan, just last year, Morgan finished their regular season at 2-8, so let's just take a step back and see how they turned things around. Allow me to introduce a pair of brothers that have completely changed the trajectory of this program, Tanner and Hayden Bankings. Tanner hit nearly 1,200 yards while finding the end zone 17 times this year, and he has 4 interceptions on the other end. Now, Hayden, despite only playing 4 games, has already grabbed 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions himself. And tonight, they took to the big stage. There's Tanner and Hayden gearing up before kickoff, so you know it's go time. It's Colegrove first, though. A 6-minute drive on the back of Caden Murphy would set them up in the goal line package, and you might as well reward him right there. 2-point is good, 8-0 Hornets. 2 minutes later, and it's Morgan in attack mode. Fake out the camera with some trickery. Give it to the man, Cason Foley. He'll do the rest. Peace out. 8-7 Colegrove. Flash to the next Raider possession, and it's Foley again, setting up his guy, Tanner Bankies, to get low and level it at 14. Another long drive and score from Murphy is topped off with this ridiculous 2-point grab from Caden Turner, but Morgan refuses to back down. A quick throw will give none other than Tanner Bankies another chance to bulldoze his way into the end zone. The rest of the game would go in Morgan's favor, though, as they take it 43-22.
I mean, wow, a runaway win in their first ever playoff victory. Who was the difference maker tonight?
Well, we went into this expecting the Bankies show, of course, but we saw plenty of that. But we also saw Cason Foley step up huge tonight. Obviously, he had the big score that set the tone in the beginning, but it felt like he was open every time they threw the ball. Having a safety net like that for your quarterback can do wonders for an offense. Even though Morgan's identity is more about leaning on the run, Foley allowed for them to play at a faster pace, which ultimately won them the game tonight.
Yeah, and not to mention 29 unanswered points for Morgan. You don't see that every day. How are they able to break this one up?
Colegrove's run game was solid, but like I said before, the Morgan offense was just too much to keep up with. Short runs and bunches can only get you so far when your opponent starts scoring at will like the Raiders did tonight. Well, a memorable night from Morgan, but they'll surely have their hands full against 1-seed Wheelersburg next week, Donovan.
Yeah, prepping for the Pirates is never going to be an easy task. Thanks for the good work, Sam. Now, time to check in on the fan vote. According to this one, 29% of you thought that Morgan would win, would be right. Make sure you vote on our Instagram and Facebook every Friday morning and check back during the show just to see how you did. As for this next game, 60% of you had Zane Trace and 40% had Valley. We'll fill you in on how you did in just a moment. Well, if you're not familiar with Valley or Zane Trace, just know that these two teams are dangerous on the ground. Joining me now to see just how these rushing attacks fared in the playoffs is Joshua Jacob.
Donovan, we have to start with how similar these teams are. I mean, you hit on the run game, but there's so much more there. The way they stack the box, the pressure they send, plain and simple, both of these teams are just aggressive. I mean, look at these stats. Valley and Zane Trace are running the ball over 70% of the time with great efficiency. The Pioneers are picking up 7 yards a carry while the Indians are picking up 6. On defense, both teams almost always send at least 5 guys, and they combine for just under 100 tackles for loss, while allowing less than 10 points a game. Now, Valley's won the last 7 matchups against Zane Trace, but we all know playoffs are win or go home, so both of these teams had plenty of motivation. Valley's second drive of the game, Braxton Conway zips a short pass, but Grady Stewart has it read the whole way through. First touchdown of the game after a long Valley drive. Pioneers defense would make them settle for a field goal. Why let them score at all? Big time Zane Trace block, and the ball rolls into the hands of Mason Hartley, and he's got blockers for days and makes it into the end zone. 14-0 Pioneers up. Now Valley, after another long drive, knocking on the door in the end zone, Jaden Higgins, big time interception, and these fans are scared. Now it's looking like he pulled off the 100-yard interception, but a great play by Anthony Aaron puts in the extra effort and stops them. Now Zane Trace, they get it in the red zone. Mason Hartley again, offense, defense, you can't stop him. They take this one 48-0.
Okay, so even though it seemed like they bent at some times, that Pioneer defense certainly never broke.
Exactly, Donovan. Zane Trace just proved how well they can adapt, but let's take a closer look at how they did it.
Okay, so yeah, like you mentioned. Go ahead.
No, this defense has been great all year, and Evan Miner showing what they're doing best. They take out 2 linemen, and right here, Lucas Euler is taking out this pulling guard. Right now, he lowers his shoulder, and he just makes it all the way to the quarterback, and it can't get easier than that.
Yeah, so now those linebackers were not far off from making the play. Why were they getting so close there?
Well, they line up very close to the ball. They're about 3 yards off, and right here you can see they like to be close because that's where they can read the ball best. They're fast to the ball, and right here, 5 defenders all on this quarterback ready to make the play, and every single time there's that much pressure, they're gonna get it.
Yeah, those guys have their eyes locked in on everyone in the backfield.
Yeah, absolutely, and this play shows it best. I mean, right here, they're all locked in. It's a passing situation. Quarterback, running back in the backfield, they're going to send a jet across, and all of these guys are locked in on it. Now, they do find out that the quarterback is about to throw this ball, and they look to the secondary. Now, they don't all immediately go back there because they see that it's covered up very well, and you want them to keep sending that pressure. So now, the Pioneers will head to Columbus Academy next week to challenge the Vikings.
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on it. If they can keep that momentum going, thanks for the good work, JJ. Well, first playoff fan of the week, and it's Halloween. Safe to say, I was in for a treat. Here's how things were at Circleville tonight.
My costume is a cop. Let me just get it real fast.
All right.
Oh, I'm Messi.
Oh, got a Messi, got a Messi, got a Messi. Shout out Messi.
I'm an OG. I was here since day one. This is a little boy compared to me.
Wow.
I would literally rock and fight.
The girls are fighting. Why inch roll deep to this game? It's the playoffs.
The whole school plays football, so we're going to have limited options here.
You munching, bro. I got to know, how's the pizza?
It's amazing. 10 out of 10.
Really? Let me see it.
Yo, get your corny.
That's a big bite. Must be good. Is there like a theme tonight? Like, oh, bro. What was that? What's the message right now?
You're so 6'7", Philo.
I scream at all the other players. I don't even know who they are, but I harass them.
Sorry. Okay. Bro, you just ran a route. He just ran a route. That's all he did, bro. Okay, time for some game action. But first, a note on the head coaches. Jay Sheridan and Dirk Lincecum may be on opposite sidelines tonight, but these two have earned respect from teams all across Ohio. Sheridan has over 200 wins to his name between his jobs at Pickerington Central and Circleville. In 21 legendary seasons, he's added 2 state titles and 3 state runner-up trophies too. As for Lincecum, he's been the head coach now for 16 years at Philo. In that time, he's only had 2 seasons with a record below 500, and his 100th win is on the line tonight. But different paths in the regular season bring them to a 10 versus 7 matchup, and Evan Johnson and Josh Herner join me with the latest.
Yeah, Donovan, Circleville alum Jay Sheridan comes out of retirement to coach at his alma mater, and he earned his team a home playoff game for the first time ever.
Yeah, but for Lincecum and Philo, they had a tough finish to the year. Despite a strong start, Philo dropped 3 of their last 4, including their final game against Morgan. But this electric squad hasn't lost to a non-MVL team this season, a huge reason for their playoff berth.
And Circleville started strong, but they ran into adversity in the middle of their season. Coach Sheridan was able to get his team back on track with 2 big wins to end the season. The Tigers defeated 3 MSL Buckeye teams, their most conference wins since 2015.
And after building momentum in the last few weeks, this Tiger squad came fired up out of the tunnel tonight.
The Electronics driving on their first offensive possession, but it quickly comes to an end after a Jack Lincecum fumble. Ari Travis recovers for a huge Tigers return, giving his offense the ball back in great field position.
And they would capitalize. Hudson Phelan keeps the ball himself on the QB keeper, immediately finds a hole, and he's gone for a 24-yard score. Circleville up 7.
Let's head over to quarter 2. Philo facing a 4th and 22, but a gorgeous pass from Jack Lincecum to Aiden Mahon is completed. Electrics tie it up.
All right, now ball back to Philo. Lincecum instantly pressured on the drop back, and the Tigers defense forces another fumble, putting their offense close to the red zone.
And Ray Ezel gets it done. Short yardage TD in a 7-point lead, and here's Coach Sheridan going into the half.
They hit a great pass on us right down the stretch, but we got the ball at halftime. We got to be sharp with it. We got to move it down the field and somehow try to get maybe a 2-score lead. If we do that, I think our defense is playing well, and we got a chance the second half.
All right, now let's get into half number 2, and it's Ezel getting busy again. This strong run puts his offense around midfield and would lead to a Tigers field goal, 17-7 midway through the 3rd.
Philo offense needs a spark on 4th down, but they don't get it. Possession back to the Tigers.
And Ezel on the carry for Circleville. It's TD number 2 on the night for him. The lead now up to 17 in the 4th.
The Tigers next drive, and they will keep it on the ground. This time it's Cole Nungaster who takes it up the middle into the red zone.
And Nungaster's going to break another bunch of tackles on this run. Circleville will go on to win 31-14, and now they win their first ever home playoff game since 2007.
Yeah, that's definitely that Sheridan effect. And honestly, from the Tigers, they had a pretty good ground game. All 4 of their touchdowns on the ground.
Yeah, and it really just started in the trenches, and everyone really fit into their roles perfectly. They have a 3-headed monster in the backfield, headlined by Cole Nungaster, Ray Ezel, and quarterback Hudson Phelan, with everyone bringing something different to the table.
Yeah, those three combined for 280 yards on the ground tonight, Donovan.
Yeah, their offense has been rolling all season long, and it looks like they honestly haven't missed a beat in the playoffs.
Oh, no doubt. That three-headed monster. I'll bring a different element in the backfield. And let's start off with Nungaster, who's the main workhorse for this Circleville offense. He really gets the bulk of the carries and brings a certain element to this offense.
And Phelan, he's a quarterback, but he gets downhill so well, and he's not afraid to take a hit either. And then there's Ray Ezel. He kind of switches everything up. He's that scat back. He's small, and he is quick, and he really exploded for some big plays in this one.
Certainly a great performance from those three guys in the backfield, but how was the Philo offense?
Yeah, honestly, the offense did move the ball well at times, but turnovers really hurt their chances at scoring opportunities.
Yeah, Philo had 3 turnovers in this game, and on all 3 of those possessions, they looked like they had a chance to score, and every time they were close to knocking on the door, they just had those missed opportunities.
Yeah, and a couple penalties really hurt their chances tonight. The offense, like we said, they really moved the ball well. Slade Sprankle had just under 90 yards tonight. They had over 250 yards of total offense, but again, penalties really set them backwards and really hurt their chances at scoring opportunities. They were moving the ball well a couple points tonight. So it is a tough loss for this Philo team, but overall it's been a very solid year for them.
And as for Circleville, they head to defending state champions Indian Valley next week.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a good one. Thanks, you guys. All right, so it's the playoffs. The highlights have ramped up. Next, we've got our top plays of the night, and I promise you, this week, they're scary good. For tonight's first one, we're going to take you guys back to our game of the week. This one was just too good. 4th and 22. Jack Lincecum drops back and hits Aiden Mahone right in the bread basket to tie the game at 7. That's how you convert on 4th down. On to number 4. This one is all tricks, no treat if you're the New Richmond defense. Bryson Heath takes the pitch and sends one downfield to Aiden Osborne, who brings in the contested pass. Number 3 might look familiar, and that's because you saw this on the extra point. Lyndon McKinley's offense knows how to make plays. Emmanuel Towns in particular. Up over the defender, gets both feet in too. And number 2 is out of Portsmouth. A little dump off to Cameron Williams becomes something much more. He's going with not much room to run, and he should be down right there. And probably here too, but no, he stays on his feet and carves through the defense for 6. Finally, our top play. This one was only worth 2 points, but we'll make it number 1. Caden Turner overtopped both defenders for the conversion. Can't go wrong with that to wrap up our Halloween top plays. As I'm sure you know by now, we've been keeping tabs on some of the top guys in this area, and it's safe to say a select few have made this season a nightmare for their opponents. I won't keep you waiting. Here are our top 12 nominees for Gridiron Glory Player of the Year. To start things off, we've got the running back out of Chillicothe, Carte Ligon. The kid is only a sophomore and has been doing it all. I'm talking multiple 300-plus yard games to his name and 25 total touchdowns. Now on the defensive side, you better run away when you see this guy, Bryce McLaughlin. The Minford linebacker has over 160 tackles on the season, a top 10 rank in Ohio. And if you like highlights, look no further than Brayson Hill. The Crooksville quarterback knows how to improvise with his legs like no other and has elevated the Ceramics offense this year. Next up, we've got the guy from Coal Grove, their star running back, Caden Murphy. Murphy is a do-it-all back with nearly 1,900 yards on the year and 27 total touchdowns for the Hornets. Staying on the ground game here, you know we couldn't leave off Julian Baker. The Miami Trace running back carries for over 195 yards a game this year and has punched his ticket to the end zone 26 times. Next is the man with a cannon, Eric Manley Jr. out of Eastern High School. The stats speak for themselves, and he tied the state record for touchdown passes in a game with 10. And who else to add to this list but Manley's favorite target, Boston Webb. He's got the state record for receiving touchdowns in a game with 7 and 20 total on the year. Quite the duo, if you ask me. And from just around the corner, out of Athens High School, is Weston Wheatley. Not only is he locked down on defense with 9 interceptions, but he's got nearly 800 receiving yards to his name, too. Back in the backfield now, we've got the young guy from Dresden, Levi Wade. Give him the rock and watch out. He's only a sophomore, but he will make you pay. Next, a product of the Fort Fry offense is running back Tice Beardsley. A force to be reckoned with, Tice has exploded for 1,100 yards this year so far. And out of Tri-Valley, we've got senior number 12, Ryan LaMonica. You can find him all over the place on both offense and defenses, tearing teams up for the Scotties. And last but not least, I'm sure you remember his name from last year, Adam Guthrie. The Miami Trace lineman has 126 pancakes and has not allowed a single sack this season. Congratulations to all the candidates. Quite the list if you ask me, but stay tuned for next week's show where we'll narrow our top 12 down to 5. On the other hand, round 1 of the playoffs is done. We'll have you covered for round 2 right here next week. Until then, remember, there's nothing better than Friday nights in Gridiron Glory.
Support comes from the O'Neill Hartman Insurance Agency, a local Erie insurance agent serving southeastern Ohio, providing professional service to individuals and businesses. Information at o'neillhartman.com. Support comes from Dean Heating and Cooling, keeping homes cool all summer with Tempstar. Dean Heating and Cooling provides HVAC service and installation in the Athens area, featuring Tempstar quality you can feel. Additional support from Donato's Pizza, featuring pizza, subs, salads, and catering from their Athens location at 688 East State Street. Information at donatospizza.com or 740-592-5049. Support comes from Ohio's 529 College Advantage, helping families save tax-free for college and career training nationwide for 35 years. Information on Ohio's 529 can be found at collegeadvantage.com/Bobcats.